Every year, something happens in the league we did not see coming. So I have to take risks predicting these awards, okay? Some of you will love it. Some of you will be like Kevin Durant at the ESPN Awards.
And our gymnastics team was so dominant that Kevin Durant told me he wants to play for them next year.
Oh, settle down. We're just having fun.
Russell Westbrook, what do you think?
Okay, that was awkward. But I have to admit something. All right, confession time. Last year, I really messed up. Last year, I predicted Jason Tatum would get MVP, and I predicted the Celtics would get the 5th seed. Somebody called me out on that, and at the time, I was too embarrassed to say that I messed up.
Oh, God dang it, what an idiot. I'm sorry.
But that won't happen again because I made my awards and standings at the same time, but I'm sure people will still call me an idiot. So for MVP, I have Luka Doncic. You've seen him take leaps and leaps and leaps, and I don't know if you've seen the standings video yet, but I think that the Mavericks are going to get, I'm not going to spoil it, a really high seed. What people are missing about the Mavericks is that part of the reason that they fell so low in the standings was because they had a COVID outbreak at the beginning of the year. After they all got healthy, they had the record of the 3rd best seed in the West. What's to say that with them being healthy from day one, with Kristaps Porzingis being motivated, Luka won't lead this team to a top seed? And just like, think about the media narrative. MVP especially is an award that is driven by stats and narrative. And we know that Luka has the stats. But from a narrative standpoint, this kid, when we all found out how great he was, all the media jumped on the Luka bandwagon, right? Year 2 is the same thing. Oh my gosh, look at how great he is in the playoffs, right? If he takes another leap year 3 and they're high in the standings, it's an MVP. The LVP, that's right, we're doing alternate awards here. Kevin Love. This one actually wasn't tough to pick. Look, I'm not gonna pick some random player who's not gonna play. It's gotta be a player who gets a lot of minutes and is a starter, probably a veteran, and Kevin Love is the perfect guy to be the least valuable player. They would love to buy him out and get him off that team because he's so bad in the locker room. Even when he comes out and says all the right things and says, oh, no, I'm so sorry for throwing a temper tantrum, for throwing the young players under the bus, he just has another temper tantrum at some point. I just think that Kevin Love is going to lose it again, hurt the locker room, and hurt them on the court. Defensive Player of the Year, Joel Embiid. He will be healthy. He is already a Defensive Player of the Year type guy. Last year, I remember Doc Rivers was saying, well, Joel is Defensive Player of the Year. No, it's Ben Simmons. And they were going back and forth, and so were all of us, right? But the fact that Ben Simmons will be off this team, maybe he'll play a few games at the beginning of the season, I don't know, but Joel will be so motivated and he'll feel so liberated. You know what I mean? He'll feel like, oh, this is my team finally. We've got that mess out of our locker room and all the chemistry is now working on the court. The last time we saw the Sixers, they were getting embarrassed, losing a big lead against the Hawks, then losing in Game 7. We're gonna have a motivated and badass Embiid. Worst Defensive Player of the Year, D'Angelo Russell. It was, between a few guys here, but I picked D'Lo because, look, Trae Young, as bad as he is on defense, he wasn't, god-awful in the playoffs. He was still bad, but he wasn't as bad as D'Angelo Russell has been, right? And Trae Young was better than his reputation defensively. D'Angelo Russell, though, is a few more years older than Trae Young, and so while I think that maybe Trae can improve, by now we know what D'Angelo Russell is. We know. And I like Trae's defensive teammates around him. Not D'Lo on the T-Wolves. 6th man of the year, Derrick Rose. This is going to happen. He is going to come off on the bench after Kemba Walker gets healthy, and it's Derrick Rose. And he's still in his late prime. He has evolved his game. He has a different kind of game. He's not as reckless. He doesn't go straight to the rim like he used to back in the day. But the last time we saw D Rose, he was healthy. He was in a great mood, took ownership over that New York Knicks team. And if you look at all of the players on their roster, it's starter. And Derrick Rose is as good as a starter, but he's going to be coming off the bench. I think it will be the 3rd player to win an MVP and a 6th man of the year. Bill Walton, James Harden, and Derrick Rose. The worst bench player in the league, Romeo Langford. This is a guy who actually gets minutes. Of course, I could pick some scrub who'll never see the court, but I know that Romeo has been injured. However, when he's healthy, he still looks bad. Averages about 2.7 points for his career. He scored 3 points or fewer in 35 of his 50 NBA games. In Summer League, he shot worse than 44% from the field 3 times. And the worst part is, he keeps getting hurt. Rookie of the year, Cade Cunningham. Honestly, I wanted to say something like Jalen Green or, I don't know, Evan Mobley, even though he didn't look great in the summer league, but like Cade, to me, is the perfect type of rookie who cares about defense. He's a leader, and obviously he cares about offense. His offense is so dynamic. He can score at all three levels. I think he's going to work really well from a chemistry perspective, sharing the backcourt with Killian Hayes. I think Cade Cunningham is the real deal. A guy who can become like a franchise level player who can be the best player on the title team. Jalen Green, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure if he takes defense seriously. Maybe he takes himself too seriously. Cade Cunningham is my kind of player, and I think that will show itself this first season. Worst rookie of the year, Trey Mann. He was picked 18th overall. Best attribute is playmaking, and the Thunder already have that handled with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, who of course will get a lot of minutes with the ball in his hand, and Theo Maledon. Trey Mann also has horrible defense, so if he's not playmaking, what's he gonna do? Well, he can shoot some, so maybe he'll prove me wrong. Most improved player, Michael Porter Jr. And this is similar to Luka, right? Because Luka is taking steps every season, and this year could be like the huge breakout year. Same exact thing for MPJ. And one of the best things I saw from Porter Jr. was when Jamal Murray went down, he picked up the slack and the team didn't lose a lot of games. Think about the experience he's gotten from his rookie season. And by rookie season, I mean the first healthy season, right? He's on a great team. They go to the bubble playoffs. He contributes. Second year, he's on a great team playing alongside an MVP, goes to the playoffs, and he contributes. So I just think that this is one of the more seasoned young guys already. Obviously, the talent is through the roof, and he's playing next to the best passing big man maybe of all time. The got worse player of the year, not a great name for the award, but Julius Randle. I just am not a believer in what we saw from Randle last year. I know he made an all-star. I just think that that whole team is going to regress, and because I think that, Julius Randle is going to have to regress too. Believe me, he was great, especially from downtown. He was good defensively, so I still love Julius Randle as a player, but I just think that the expectations are way too high for this guy. Coach of the year, Jason Kidd. And that's a controversial pick, but this goes along with how excited I am about the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd left Milwaukee when he coached there with like a lot of tough feelings. There were rumors about how bad of not only a coach, but a guy that he was. But I think since then he's been humbled. He sat on the bench with the Lakers, worked with LeBron, watched Frank Vogel coach that team to a title in 2020. I think that now in his third chance as a head coach, things will really click. He'll be great for Luka. He'll be great for Kristaps Porzingis, and he'll be the coach of the year after they play well. Worst coach of the year, Luke Walton. He will be replaced mid-season by Mike Longobardi, who they hired on his bench, and it's kind of like the Lloyd Pierce and Nate McMillan situation last year. They hired McMillan on his bench, and everyone was just waiting for Lloyd Pierce to get fired from the Hawks, and it happened. For the Kings, back-to-back 31 and 41 seasons. They have now missed the playoffs 15 straight years. And if you haven't seen the standings predictions that I talked about, I will reveal what place I think those Dallas Mavericks can get and all other 29 teams.